you're doing, Mike Bradley? I hope you're doing well as always. It is so hot. I can't, even doing this, I can't breathe. It is so hot in the UK. I love the sun. I love it. But trying to work and do anything, no. I mean, so I've had to turn the fan off because it's picking up on the mic. So I've been whinging about heat, I think, in the last few videos, but sorry to kick off the video like this, but I'm so hot. So if there's people messaging going, hey, why is that guy can't do his shirt button up? I am melting. I am melting here. But I'm also melting because I've dug out my old amp. I say dug out. I've taken it from one side of the room and put it on top of my other cab. So if you're a new viewer of mine, some videos well, a lot of my early videos I did on YouTube was using this old girl, my Cornford MK50, and I love this amp. It's a great amp. It's very much a plexi type amp, you know, very influenced by the Marshall plexis, the brown sound, if you will. It's a cracking, you know, rock and roll amp, basically. Little backstory if you want to come back on a journey with me. Basically, back in 2000, scarily 18 years ago, let me just put this on standby. I went to the ACM, and I was very fortunate enough to be taught by gentlemen such as Guthrie Govan, Jamie Humphreys, Dave Kilminster, and Eric Roach, and many others, Pete Callard. But Jamie, Dave and Guthrie were all Cornford users. And back then as well, we had the Guitarist magazine in the UK and Guitar Techniques, and all the guys would use Cornford amps pretty much, you know, because Phil Hilborn, if I remember rightly, he kind of did a lot of the audio back then, and he used a Cornford amp. So that was when I first kind of started hearing about Cornford, and I wanted a Cornford amp and stuff. And they were very expensive, and I was still a teenager then, you know, and you know, I was still at school when I was hearing about it. So I couldn't quite afford it, but eventually I saved, and you know, working in supermarkets and things like that, and I was able to buy my Cornford MK50, and I gigged it for, when did I get it? 2006, I think I got this, and I gigged it with a Marshall 4x12, and before I was rolling, that is my Marshall cab right there, and I had it through that. But I put it through my Hampstead 2x12 cab, and it sounds so much better. Actually saturates a little bit more as well. I'm dripping. I thought for the video I'd do it through that. And it got me thinking as well, I really should do a video talking about speaker cabinets, speakers, sorry. And speaker cabinets, but speakers play such a huge difference in tone. You know, it completely changed the sound of the amp, putting it through the Celestion creambacks. And I think in the 4x12 Marshall here, obviously it's a 4x12, so it's a lot more bassy. But I think they're the standard Celestions, the GT, the 75 watt standard ones. But I will do a video at some point. But anyway, so Cornford, back to the Cornford. Great amp, like I say, it's a single channel amp, and there's no reverb, so you know, I'm now really used to reverb, especially from using my Hampstead amp, which I adore and is very much me at the moment, tone wise, but you kind of you know, not having that kind of repeat, if you will, or a little bit of space, leaves you very naked, very dry sound, obviously. But if you think to our, you know, rock and roll heroes of the 60s and stuff, they didn't really use reverb, you know, because they were playing in big, you know, if you think you're playing the Royal Albert Hall, that is a big reverb room. And so you don't need a reverb pedal or an amp with reverb. But it's great playing it again. And my last EP I did, this is what I have to say, I did it all on this, and I didn't use an overdrive pedal. I used a fuzz in the song called Higher, but it was all recorded on this. I had the master, it needs a bit of a service. The foot switch doesn't work great with it at the moment, so I'm on master 2 here. Because basically, if you don't know about it, what's really good with this amp is that it's got 2 master volume controls, and so you can have master 1 set as, like, you know, for your rhythm or riff stuff, and then kick in master volume 2, and then you've got a volume boost, so it's not changing the gain. When I say volume boost, you can set it to how high you want it, and that's really cool, and I haven't really seen that on any other amplifiers even today, you know, for an amp which is, what, you know, 18 years old. And you know, it's got your volume, it says here, which is basically the preamp gain, and then next to it we've got overdrive, which is the overdrive. But if you want a clean sound, you can whack the master all the way up, or as high as you can get it, and then back the volume here, the gain really, down, and you'll get a clean sound. But when I was saying about my last EP, I had the master 2 cranked all the way up, and then I was adding in gain to taste, and then adding overdrive from the amp as well. Had it in front of me and had the cab in another room, obviously, because it is loud. And this amp, you do want to kind of turn it up to really get it cooking. I can't really do so at the moment. I've got it as loud as I can really get it in this room. But let me give you some sounds of it. So at the moment I've got the overdrive off, and the master 2 is just over the second blob, if you will, and then I've got this volume / gain at, like, what's that, 2 o'clock. Now what's cool with this amp is very touch sensitive, so if I back the volume down a bit, back up. Really cool, yeah? Now if I wanted to get that cleaner sound, I can turn this volume down and then turn this up. See what I mean? It's now a bit more glassy kind of sound. Again, weird not having a little tail. But yeah, so it's single channel amp, really, really simple. But obviously because of this master volume stuff, it kind of makes it a bit more versatile than just a single channel amp, you know. And then, so I put the volume / gain back to, what was it, just on the 2 o'clock bit. Now if I add in a bit of overdrive, slightly out of tune, 1 second. You know, so an amp like that, you get this really big fat sound with it, but it's not very forgiving. It shows your mistakes. You know, I'm literally plugged straight into the amp here. There's no overdrive pedals. There's nothing. This is just from the amp, and so you get that lovely, you know, brown sound, that chocolate brown sound. You know, but it will show your mistakes. So that means you've got to practice more or slow down, you know, get used to it. You know, slowing down that way. And it's one thing as well I remember from this is very, you know, when I was saying about the touch sensitive, I can't say the word, touch sensitive. I've got the mids at like kind of, what's that, just over 10 o'clock now. Completely, you know what I mean? It's just by turning up a couple of knobs there, notches, completely change it. it's so cool to play it again. I just wanted to share it with you. Now I know a lot of you like the Les Paul, so let me by magic put the Les Paul on. Same settings as before, and yeah, you get a Les Paul sound. That was fun. So what can we learn from this video here? I think the big thing here is guitar tone. I like gear, love gear. I like a good pedal. But when I think about, you know, the early days when I was playing and gigging, I literally had a wah and an overdrive pedal. And when I got this amp, that was, I remember I had a Marshall JCM 2000, and then when I got this amp, the Boss SD1 went away, and I would just have a wah, a tuner, and then the foot switch with this, which would take the overdrive off or change from master volume 1 and 2. That's what I did for a long time. I had no reverbs or anything. It's only as I progressed and, you know, I'd like the sound of a good reverb now. You know, an amp like the Hampstead has got a beautiful reverb in it. I adore it. You know, it can be very musical with it. So, you know, and when I'm at home playing and practicing and stuff, very rarely do I plug into a pedal. The only times I really plug into pedal if I want more of a oomph overdrive sound with the Hampstead amp I've got or whatever amp I'm using. Cause I pretty much use amps as single channel. I don't like dual channel amps really, because you can get one setup, one channel side set up well, and then the second one I find it harder to kind of match it, you know, and get the same volume and stuff like that with it. So you know, don't take it back a bit, because like I say, a tone like this, I certainly think it sounds cool. Right? You know, it's up for debate if anyone else does, but and that goes for yourself as well. You might like a certain tone, if someone else doesn't, fair enough. You know, if it makes you happy and helps you play and become the player you hear in your head, brilliant, all the power to it. But yeah, with a tone like this, is very, very unforgiving and will highlight your mistakes, but it makes you play a little bit different as well. You know, I kind of always play with a bit of an unforgiving tone, because, you know, too much gain might sound good in the bedroom or in your living room, or wherever, the kitchen, the shed, or whatever, but it can get lost in a band mix. And I've spoken about this before, where you're playing live and I can't hear myself, and so you end up putting another overdrive pedal on top of another overdrive, and it just becomes a bit of a mush, and then your volume gets lower. You know, there's a meme going around, you know, saying the gain knob is not a volume knob, or something like that, and it's very true. You know, so that's what I was saying about when I did my EP, you know, having the master all the way up and adding overdrive on top of that, where it won't necessarily get, it will just compress, you know, but it won't get louder. But because the amp was already cooking, it doesn't, you know, you're getting those natural valve overdriven tones, because that's what overdrive came from. Excuse me. It was, you know, turning a valve amp up and getting, you know, your overdrive in the tubes, the valves. So that's my Cornford. Great amp. Unfortunately, they're not in development anymore. Paul, basically, it was, if you don't know, two guys basically were the helm of it. So this is the MK50, and it's the Cornford MK50. And Cornford is a gentleman called Paul Cornford, and the MK stands for Martin Kidd. And you're probably aware Martin Kidd has now gone on to do another amp brand called Victory Amps, and well, I played a couple of them. They're very, very nice, but you know, this to me is one of the best rock and roll amps around, and I will never sell it. It's a, what's the serial number? I think it's like 120 or something like that. It's not a massively high serial number if you think about it. You know, it's not like a serial number 500 or something like that. So I will never get rid of this bad boy, and it's very handy to have, you know. So, but yeah, I wanted to share with you my little amp experience and just have a good chat, because that's what YouTube's all about. I think is a big public forum of chatting. Alright, so yeah, let me know your thoughts. Hopefully you enjoyed some of the noises I was coming out with today, and sorry if I look a bit of a sweaty mess, but I haven't really mentioned that it's really hot over here in the UK. Also, I definitely will do a video talking about in more depth about speakers and the differences with them. I think that's very, very important, and could be very interesting. I might do it when it's a bit cooler though, because I have to do a bit of swapping around. But let me know your thoughts, guys. If you got any old amps you've been, you know, started playing again, and, you know, kind of going back to you know, a few years ago when you were playing them, and taking you back to that kind of play you were, let us know in the comment section below. Thank you to everyone for the love and support. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, share it, like it, because YouTube's weird with the algorithms at the moment. Thank you to everyone on Patreon. Thank you very, very much. If you're not aware, I'm doing a really cool gig at the big Yamaha store in London on August the 30th. There'll be a link in the description box below. It's a free event. Come along, it'd be great. We can hang out. Me and my band would be doing a full gig there. It'd be really, really cool. So it's Thursday, August the 30th. I think it kicks off at 6 o'clock. But there'll be a link, and it's free, but you need to get a ticket because there's limited spaces, all right? So yeah, hopefully see some of you there, and I'll see you in the next video. Mike Bradley, very much, signing out.